Hi, I'm Scott Davis. Welcome to New World Birth. By accessing this presentation, you're inviting me to share this information regarding our passage through this challenging and very hopeful time. This is the care and feeding of a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of January 15th, 2012, and One Storm in the Mayan Tzolkin calendar. And we'll also discuss the Aquarius new moon and Mars turning retrograde. January 15th is One Storm, which carries the themes of rain, wind, lightning, giver of life, the cycles of the moon, the feminine, the warmth of the home while inclement weather rages outside, purification, nourishment, compassion, emotions, seeing challenges of blessings, and then healing through the release of ego. Clouds pregnant with rain, followed by a flash of lightning and the release of the storm that cleanses the earth to prepare for new consciousness. This 13-day period would be an important time to focus on what's truly important in life and hold loosely to those things that are a distraction to your essence. Allow the waters of the storm Trsena to wash away false pride and rigid thinking to create fertile ground for the growth of your integrated and authentic self. Astrologically, the One Storm Trsena begins with all the planets moving in forward motion until January 23rd, when Mars appears to move in reverse. Of course, planets don't really move backwards. It's like when you are in a car passing a slower car, that slower car appears to move backwards relative to distant landmarks on the horizon. So during this Trsena, Mars appears to slow down, stop, and begin to move in reverse, which is called retrograde by astrologers. When a planet appears stopped, it's said to be at the peak of its power. So during this report period, Mars, which represents drive and aggression, is in Virgo, which is the home, service, organization, efficiency, and health, is a strong influence in our personal lives. Mars began the first stage of offering us a course correction on November 19th, 2011, when it first crossed this line of 3 degrees of Virgo in the zodiac, where it will eventually return to begin moving forward again in April. But from this point where it crosses that line of 3 degrees Virgo until it gets to 23 degrees Virgo, which is the point where it turns retrograde on January 23rd, 2012, we are gathering information and energy related to this upcoming change of course. And then on the 23rd, Mars begins to move, its second stage, which will last down to April 14th, 2012, so that second stage is where it's retrograde, and that movement has us going back over the details from that first stage as we have experiences that give us an indication of what needs to change in our lives. As an aside, sexual relationships that begin during a Mercury retrograde cycle may be less than satisfying. Mars turns direct or appears to begin moving forward again on April 14th, and this begins the third stage, which will last until June 20th for the summer solstice, which is a time to implement the course correction that we will become aware of through moving through this process. To understand how this will impact you personally, you want to look at the area governed by the house of your astrological chart that contains this arc between 3 degrees and 23 degrees of Virgo. All right. January 15th is One Storm, which is unity experienced through being aware of the gifts of adversity. And with the moon being challenged by Mercury, an important thing to remember on the 15th is you do not have to join every fight you are invited to. This is a good time to keep some distance from negative people, situations, and conversations. On the 16th, we have two sun. This is duality experienced through ancestral wisdom, with Venus merging with Chiron, the wounded healer. And sometimes this feels like re-breaking a bone to set it so that it heals correctly. Except with Venus, we're not talking about bones. We're talking about our hearts. January 17th is 3 Crocodile, which is taking action to nurture new beginnings, with the moon in harmony with Pluto and Mercury, which stimulates deep feelings and increases the rate of our social interactions. The 18th is 4 Wind. This is stability through sending communications, with the moon being stimulated by Mars and the sun challenged by Neptune and then supported by Uranus. This is a day of shifting feelings from independence to contentment to daydreams, and then finally just wanting something completely different. January 19th is 5 Night. It's empowerment through contemplating the stars, with the sun being challenged by Saturn, which can seem overwhelming as our responsibilities are highlighted. Try to stay focused on one task at a time. The 20th is 6 Seed, which is being in the flow through planting new seeds, with the sun entering into Aquarius, which begins a month of more innovative thinking and a view of the bigger picture. Also on the day, Venus is stimulated by Pluto, which intensifies our love relationships, and sometimes will bring former lovers to make contact with us during this type of a transit. January 21st is 7 Serpent, which is reflection through being flexible, with the sun being stimulated by Uranus, which brings interesting encounters and unusual events during our normal routine. The 22nd is 8 Transformation, which is balanced through releasing what no longer serves us, as the sun is challenged by Jupiter. So be aware of people who seem overconfident. The 22nd also begins the human design new year, as the sun enters into the hexagram 41, which is associated with the DNA start codon, and with Neptune in the hexagram 30, the clinging fire. We have this whole channel, which is defined for a few days, which will give us a feeling of a desire for a new emotional experience. The 23rd is 9 Deer, which is patience through providing service to others, with the Aquarius new moon merged with the sun, which begins the Chinese New Year, which is the year of the water dragon. All this is bringing us new beginnings, with creativity and originality, and the whole thing is electrified by the ruler of Aquarius, which is Uranus. And then at the same time, Mars is finally getting to this point of slowing down, stopping, and beginning to move in reverse. So during this day, we're going to feel it's a day of really that aggressive energy is highlighted before it really gets into its full reverse motion, which then brings us a time when it will require more effort to achieve the same results. On the 24th, we have 10 Star. This is manifestation through our abundant relationships, with Uranus merging with Ceres. This is a time of struggling to balance nurturing our bodies while feeling the energy that creates excitement and change. The 25th is 11 offering, which is resolution through the appreciation for all creation, with the moon being supported by Saturn, merged with Neptune, and stimulated by Jupiter and Pluto, which starts with emotional strength and then greater sensitivity to the environment, and later feelings of congeniality, and finally feeling deep emotions that release hidden feelings. The 26th is 12 dog. This is understanding through being with family and friends, with the moon merged with Venus, which is very social, and then later that moon is feeling tension from Mars, which can be challenging in our personal lives. And then January 27th is 13 monkey, which is movement to the next stage through new beginnings, with Mercury being challenged by Saturn, and then moving, and this is a good energy for disciplined thinking, and then moving into Aquarius for a few weeks. So with Mercury in Aquarius, this brings inquisitive, clever, and inventive thinking and communication. For me, the Storm Trisena is about acceptance of loss, and it's an important part of the human experience, because anything we gain in this life, we eventually lose, even life itself. So sometimes we enter into this experience consciously, and other times we may be feeling like fate is victimizing us. And recently I became aware that at this point in my life, I may not experience being a father. And as someone who has been aware of this baby being energy since I was in my 20s, and actually was reintroduced to my son during a recent past life regression, that awareness has been difficult to accept. But I think it's important to realize that we're not meant to have every experience in every lifetime. Ultimately, life is terminal and everything is temporary. And I've had another shift recently in my relationship to life, in that I'm no longer really focused on the world of material success. I hope that I'm supported and comfortable, but I actually have no idea how to stay afloat financially during these changing times we're currently in. So I'm focused more on spiritual growth and the faith that the financial stuff will take care of itself. And I've begun calling this practice of playing cosmic chicken. The currency that I am most interested in is experience. Because if we're here as spiritual beings having human experiences, then the events that occur and how we integrate them to inform our spiritual journey, that for me is what it's really all about. I don't know how the mortgage gets paid, or what is going, or what I will go through each day, but the moment is what's truly what I'm savoring, and the moment of just being in the moment, being with my breath, and having the experience of the day, whatever the day is about. The Dalai Lama was asked what surprised him most, and his response was man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, and then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as though he is never going to die, and then dies having never really lived. And I love that quote because it underscores living in the moment to have a life well lived. None of us knows how many breaths we will have in this lifetime. But the one that we're having right now, to me, is the most important one. At the end of life, it might seem we might seem like a baby fussing when he is removed from his mother's breast, only to find that he is simply being moved to nurse from her right one. Uh, However we choose to view life, let's take some time to be in the flow with the planet by being in nature, watching the sunrise or the sunset, communing with the stars, being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, or being with someone you love. Every day is a blessing, no matter what dramas beckon to distract us. We are all here giving the performance of a lifetime on this world stage. So just take some time out to observe the play as well as act your part. Remember that we are all spiritual beings having human experiences. Anyway, I'd like to take this moment to thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of Care and Feeding of a New World Age will be on January 28th for One Road, the Leo full moon, Venus moving into Aries, and Saturn turning retrograde. You can check us out on Facebook or YouTube. And as always, I invite you to email me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com. If you have any questions about the material that's in this video, or you wish to schedule a reading with me, which reminds me, I am offering a special on readings. The reading I'm offering will look at your human design chart to help you understand how to use your individual strategy and authority in making life decisions based on your unique design. I will also discuss the next 3 months of astrological transits as they relate to your natal and progressed chart. So if you're curious about this concept here with the Mars retrograde, I would cover that in a reading if you schedule one soon. You'll also be able to email me to have this reading. You will need to be able to either call me in Maine in the USA or connect with me on Skype to receive the reading. As my gift to you, I will email you a 20 to 30 page report giving 3 months of detailed planetary transits as they relate to your birth chart for all paid readings. As always, I am blessed that you've taken this time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application to our journey during this incarnation. As always, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.